anything that comes out of the twins' mouth at this point. I wasn't shocked from the day that I met them. I'm not shocked right now. I'm not shocked at their wigs. I'm not shocked at how wide they are in their asses, you know, when they walk away. But I'm more of an adult, so I'm trying to keep it adult.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Freeish Watchlist, The Encore. EBT presents The Encore.
One day we are not going to bring EBT into one of these upcoming calendar years, but I suppose it's not 2021.
Y'all know I love y'all. I am that medium well steak that Keely was cooking at the beginning of the episode, Chris.
And what's good, y'all? It is that blunt that you know all these bitches have been passing around even during a pandemic, Ricky. Hey, I would too, so I mean, I'm vaxxed though, so you know, well.
I'm vaxxed.
Come on, baby, won't you vax that ass up? Hey, bitch, won't you vax that ass up? So y'all lucky my shirt's tucked in, because I would have got up and started twerking, but...
Okay, so now back to other girl groups that are successful. Shout out to Hot Boys and Cash Money. So Keely was in the kitchen cooking up this old sickening steak. I just want to put the picture right here because we stand great food. That's one time I gabbed said food. I was like, oh, this is good when she was cutting it. I'm like, this is good. That's me being fat. So yeah, it comes out that they need 5 songs for this whole project, this Queendom thing. But they only got 2. And it seems like they got less than that, you know, over the episode. But our editor wanted us to note that one of the bananas was bruised on set.
That
so we just
banana
want
was
everybody
bruised, bitch. That banana was beat up. Like, you just might as well just put that shit in a smoothie.
Right. Like, it's a lot of things on this set that I keep noticing. I'm seeing Newports on tables. I'm seeing, like, unwashed dishes. It's a lot going on with them living together, right?
Bitch, why is the first thing my mama said is, I don't know who the fuck room this is, but they need to clean this shit the fuck up if they're gonna be on TV. And I looked at that bedroom and bitch.
There are no hangers. There are clothes on all the floors. It's like everybody living like this is sophomore year of college and y'all just got into good weed. So it's like whatever.
That's some real shit though.
T. But speaking of real shit, so Felicia Fallon, since y'all want me to stop calling them the twins. The twins was in the kitchen with Keely and we're talking shit about Aubrey. Basically saying Aubrey's lazy and spoiled. We need to get to the music. And, you know, Keely is just with her finger just a stirring. Being that girl. And lo and behold, who is standing there coming out the bathroom? Definitely like she just got done peeing. Like, I don't know what Aubrey was doing, but she came out that door like, ooh, I had just let one go, honey. And then like, ooh, they talking shit. So she was definitely there to have that reality TV show moment of I heard through the grapevine y'all was talking shit. But she's taken out by Misha. So that was the next scene.
Right. So at this point, Aubrey and Misha decide to head outside. And this is where Aubrey decides to tell Misha that she knows that the twins are trying to overthrow her, meaning Aubrey. So Misha's over here like, I know that girl freaking frack. I'm not fucking with them either. But at the same time, she's kind of on the fence because, you know, she's like, I mean, I've seen making the bed. Suffice to say, she's on the fence. But at the same time, you can tell Misha is very much more so Team Aubrey than Team the twins. So at this point, Irish comes into the convo too because, you know, she'll be like, what y'all talking about?
What's going on?
And they continue to talk about it a little bit more. The tea is being spilled, and we are ready to move on into our next theme, bitch.
So they are in the studio. We hear a snippet of Bird's Eye View. She's cute. She's something getting around on her way to church.
Right, she was okay.
And this will be brought up later about the song choices they actually have, because these are cute songs, right?
Right.
These are like cute sounding songs. It sounds like this should be something y'all should be putting together as this type of group. Y'all ain't really unts type girls. You know what I mean? So Bird's Eye View definitely gave like, this is gonna be a hit whenever y'all like mix and master it, whatever. Mm-hmm. We get to Sita. We get to them sitting in the workroom or whatever, and Sita is basically like, you know, hey bitches, what's y'all name? And they was like, our name is The Blueprint. The funniest part of that scene was Aubrey's face, because when I tell you Aubrey was the fuck over Blueprint as a name, she just like, okay.
Well, it's like,
and
bitch,
then
where
in
was
confessional.
you?
And it was like, again, where were you? This is what happens. You know, this is how Danny came out of Dawn when she got off that tour bus. And you was like, I mean, we didn't have it as a group, but you bitch, you wasn't on the bus. So that's making the bandstands there. But yeah, so she was pressed about that. Whatever. So it comes down to the queen vote, right? Because of course, it came down to a queen vote. Of course, this week somebody got to pull a lipstick and go home. So when I tell you I'm mixing this with Drag Race and Survivor, it's a lot going on here. It's literally like giving Drag Race Survivor, but like with the R&B album attached.
Right. Because you know those was definitely lipsticks in pre-production.
Okay. Carlos, call us. We know the tea. We knew them was lipsticks. Them albums are very cute though, and I love how the box is literally like the same shape of box that's on Drag Race.
Right.
But moving right along. So they get to voting, and it's really dramatic, but it really comes down to a tie between Aubrey and one of the twins. Mm-hmm. And it's real awkward because these storylines are breaking down like production wants them to, but for some reason there's this weird thing where it goes left, because Aubrey then picks Misha out of nowhere, because Misha was like third or fourth in the vote, and she picks Misha because of course she don't want to be queen no more, and she don't want to give it to Fallon and or Felicia. So instantly Irish was over it. I mean, not Irish. Instantly Misha was over it. Like, this is about to be a thing, right?
I think, man.
Oh yeah, so our editor wanted us to note that there were new looks in this scene. The Irish popped out with a new wig at the end. Had the nerve to start talking about folk.
Had the nerve. The wig might not have been the cutest, but it was getting there. Like, I see where they're going, and I'm not complaining.
Last thing about this scene was Pam really being in there like, as former queen, I think that we should do XYZ. And like, she said it in confessionals, but like, come on, Pam.
That's like BB saying, as a former queen. That's like, okay, bitch.
Right, BB be on All Stars 3 like and they looked at her like, well, bitch, she was in the bottom last week, so I don't understand.
What have you done for me lately?
Okay, but that was that scene, so moving along.
Right, so now we have a scene featuring Elijah. What was the name that you coined for him? Elijah Cakes?
Elijah Cakes. She showed it this week, honey.
Oh, yes, she did. Because right before we get to that, we have Felicia and Aubrey with the scene together. So, you know, Felicia and Aubrey have been coming at each other all the entire, apparently, 2 weeks that they've been here. They keep referencing 2 weeks.
2 weeks, so, halfway through.
So at this point, Felicia wanted to talk to Aubrey about what was said to Elijah and all of that, and try to find a way to come together because they're all just over it. They need to move on to the next storyline. So at this point, they hash it out. They talk about what happened, and they come to the consensus that Elijah was in the wrong. Because Aubrey's like, yeah, well, I mean, Elijah came to me and he was saying that y'all said this and that, which is true-ish. And yeah, and basically, you know, but he was saying this and that, talking about his dick and his balls. I just remember the part about the dick and the balls the most. But, and basically Felicia took that as, oh, he was throwing shade. We need to talk to him. We're about to talk to him now. That's when they proceeded to head on into the studio and have the session that they needed to have.
So they get in the studio and they walk up on Elijah, right? And it's basically like, what's the tea? Basically, we heard this. Elijah basically said, of course, I would never say anything about you. And I love you and I respect you like any butch queen would. And then, soon as Aubrey came in there, that tone changed. Because Aubrey basically... And this is how you know Aubrey is a master of reality TV. This is how you know a bitch is born on reality TV versus coming on reality TV. Because Aubrey played that scene to the T. She went in there and said exactly what she needed to say to his face. They showed the edit to us. And so everything he said after that just felt like a lie. It was like, you might not remember this, sis, but you literally walked in there and threw shade and pulled your dick out. Not put your dick out in front of Aubrey, but like did this dick measuring contest in front of Aubrey and then went downstairs and told the twins something completely different about what Aubrey said because you're upset. And so now it looks like Aubrey's the villain, but Aubrey's not the villain. You're the villain, sis. It's time for you to go. They should have pulled your damn lipstick. Like, ooh. I don't understand. I mean, honestly, she got to go. The way she was talking to Aubrey and like that, my man this and my man that, all of that like back and forth she was doing with the girls, I don't like that. I don't like that energy at all, sis. You a producer. You stay in the studio and make some beats, honey. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
What do you think? Because that was me. That was what I thought. Period.
Yeah, those situations are always a very sticky situation with me just because when women and men argue, it's one of those things where it's like, as a man, it's really hard to win that argument. I really try not to even argue with women because it's one of those things where you're not really going to win because at some point an argument is going to escalate if it keeps going and it's going to get aggressive, and that's not really a side that I like to show with women, so I try to steer clear from that. But at the same time, if you're already in the heat of that moment and it's coming out, it's kind of like, I'm a gay, so I know it could come out whether it's gonna come out regardless. And if a bitch need to get red, a bitch is gonna get red.
Needs to get red.
But
right.
but you just gotta think about how that looks optics wise. Yes, I said that correctly. Because it can come off looking very untoward on your part as a male coming towards a female like that.
You look bitch made arguing with some females about some shit you actually did on TV. So, I don't know, you need to get with the editing department or with God or with your production team, but very bad.
So, moving right along through our amazing, incomparable, super expeditious, Aloysius, Lucius Alizé Parker. You know who that is?
What? No.
Review of Encore, episode 5. All right, so these next few scenes, we're going to put them together because not a lot happened in each one, but they're going to add up to some shit. Kind of like how all your exes add up to a good catch if you were to put them all together, but separately they're kind of like, So we have our next scene, which begins with Aubrey being mad about being cussed out by Elijah. She went to talk with Misha about this, and both of them were kind of over it. At this point, you could tell, as Chris said, Aubrey, she is a veteran of reality TV, and one of the oldest tales / storylines of reality TV is a woman saying that a man was aggressive towards her. And not to downplay that in any way, because it's definitely true in most cases, including this one. That is something that happens a lot. So they had this conversation. They basically was like, you know what, fuck Elijah. We don't really care about those cakes anymore. We would rather some brownies anyway. And at this point, Nivea was just trying to get in the jacuzzi. So Nivea was like, big, can I get me some water? Swimsuit me, please.
Right. And so I want to, not to cut you off, but that other producer in that scene, that other producer was talking real. The other producer, I forget his name, the one from Chicago, the one that was with, I forget. But, like, he was talking real. Him and Aaliyah J, the girl that's the dancer lady. They was in there, like, they going to have to, like, learn that some of this is just not okay. Like, dude, you need to be, like, producing, like, period. So, shout out to them, the other people in the room. And I got something for the other guy who won't take his mask off at the end.
Right. So we move on to the next scene, which is apparently Shamari's anniversary scene. So I guess we had to have this moment with her and Ronnie from New Edition. Ronnie was still looking cute.
I would still lick his innards, okay? I'm gonna believe that.
I thought she was about to say you would lick his gizzards.
Same thing. Same area.
At this point, our editor had wanted us to add that the dude who won't take his mask off. At this point, our editor had wanted us to add that the dude who won't take his mask off is the only one working.
I want to say that boy that is in the studio with his mask on 24/7 is the only one that's ever facing the computer and actually working. And this happens here. This happens in the argument at the end of the episode. This happens every episode. They argue in a damn studio. He's the only one. Click. So enjoy your montage, man, with the mask. We stand you minding your business, okay, and getting your check. That's what he came to do.
So we continue on with Shamari Skyping Ronnie and, having their little FaceTime sex because, when them cameras went off, shit got pulled out, shit got pulled down, and something got virtually sucked. But prior to all of this, their kids were on there. They were looking so cute, looking like a very cute black nuclear family. We stand those. Apparently, somebody said they were giving corny B&J vibes. I will not accept that because they were not giving B&J at all to me specifically. Maybe you could say a light-skinned Bobby and Whitney without the vocals, but...
Or the crack.
Possibly the crack.
Maybe.
But yeah, the scene was overall cute. But... this is where we had to get into the drama because we had the next scene. And with this scene, Aubrey decides to first talk to Keely and talk about how she wants to be in a positive place. She's tired of fighting. Keely is like, girl, me too. It was giving, when Keely and Adrian worked through their differences after 3LW to get into Cheetah Girls together because regardless as to what they say, I know them bitches didn't like each other going into Cheetah Girls.
Okay, I know it.
The twins are excited about their song Talking. This is a song that they are both heavily featured on, and it's the one that they call, more the round the way girl bop. So now the girls are trying to figure out how the set list for their upcoming showcase is going to go. Keely at this point is starting to seem like she's over it. Well, it's like, girl, you're not any of the tracks anyway, so I don't know where this is coming from. The girls need to figure out that show order, and this is not going well because they are thinking different things. Fallon wants to now take Talking off the board all the way. Her and Felicia got into it real heavy. She felt like Felicia shouldn't have told Aubrey about the situation, and they shouldn't have talked about the set list without Fallon being there because she's the one that wrote the song Talking. And they took it off the set list without her being in the room, and she felt some type of way about it. Or no, I'm sorry. They added the song Talking to the set list without talking to Fallon about it, and Fallon was basically just over it. So she's over Felicia, she's over everybody else. The girls are fighting. Which brings us to the next scene.
The girls are fighting now. So
can you say that part one more time?
What?
Can you say that part one more time?
What's the tea? The girls are fighting now. So, it basically comes down to this. So they're in the studio basement, parlor area or whatever, and they're talking. It is Misha, Irish, Aubrey, other people. Keely's standing there. There's a whole bunch of people in that room. And so they get to this point of talking and conversing again about the set list and what should go first. So what I took from it is Aubrey was sitting there and saying, and Misha and the girls were saying, we need to switch this around and put Talking in the front because Talking is a banger. and we don't have any other bangers. The rest of, like we said, the rest of their album sounds like what they like, slow jam, mid tempo, all it is. So it's very weird that y'all would like only have one bop and then try to put it at the end. You know what I'm saying? And then it delved into conversation about how many bangers they have. They don't have enough songs really for, because like we said at the beginning, they only had 2 songs done, and the rest are just theories, right? The rest are just we trying to get this together. But y'all have a showcase in what seems to be a few days, and y'all set list is kind of meh. It's very meh. And it's not that y'all songs are meh, and I want to make this a clear distinction. It's not that your songs are meh. The order and the tempo of the show is giving meh by the order of the songs we have. That's what was being said in the basement to me. I don't know what Twin One heard, but she went upstairs and told Fallon that, or which one was which? Felicia told Fallon, Fallon told Felicia. Twin One told Twin Two that they was downstairs talking shit about the records, right? And Twin Two got upset. Miss Mamas was mad.
She was upset.
And I did not like that Twin One changed the story a little bit, because when Twin Two did, she was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going downstairs and like confronting these girls. So she basically bust into the dungeon and was like, bitch, like, what's tea? Like, I heard y'all down here talking shit. And especially you, Aubrey. Like, the way she stood over Aubrey, the way she stood aggressively at Aubrey, she was ready to finally come out and, like, give Aubrey the tea. And remember, mind you, like we said, they've been arguing all day.
And it gives me... Fallon didn't necessarily know that Felicia was going to do all of this, because I believe that it was Fallon that told Felicia. And, you know, when you think about it, we've said on here that throughout watching the show, Fallon is more of the aggressor. So I think she told Felicia this thinking that Felicia was just going to hype her up and they was going to be hyped together. But she wasn't prepared for Felicia to go ham like that and take her ass down there like, what was said?
Because it almost gives me like when you argue with your brother and sister and it's like y'all get into it, but then when you get behind closed doors, you get in the kitchen or something, you say something funny to that bitch and y'all kiki to each other about your mama or something, and y'all like back on the same page. It gave me like that. Like she wanted y'all to unite in that moment against Aubrey.
Against somebody else.
She didn't know you was going to go there. Right, against somebody else. Because remember, they had an argument earlier in the day. So like she came downstairs full right and well to like cuss her out, because it did sound like they were talking shit about her songs from the what Twin One told her. So it gets to this whole thing about the records aren't good. Are you saying my records aren't good? Are you saying this? Aubrey's just standing there tucking her chins like, listen, we all were sitting here talking about the set list. You know what I'm saying? What I did not like about this scene at the end, and this is what pisses me off about girl groups and these girls in general, and I have the same problem with like some friends in real life. I don't like when you know something is true and you see somebody going off about something that's wrong and you don't correct it. The fact that Aubrey literally had to scream out at production and scream out at the girls and be like, why are y'all not saying nothing? We all were having this conversation.
Right, it just happened.
Misha, we literally in the middle of this conversation as they're coming downstairs. Why are y'all literally? Keely backed up to the back of the room. Shamari and Nivea moved off to the side. The only one that spoke up was Misha. Here's my problem with Misha. So Misha spoke up and was like, yeah, we were down here talking and we were doing this, but I feel as though I'm not getting enough time on the song, and I feel like we're only getting 2 or 3 bars and this, that, and the third. And to me, the argument that Aubrey and Twin One and Twin Two were having was completely separate from what Misha brought into the thing. And when Misha brought that in, it was like, you're escalating a situation to a place that it didn't really need to be. Because honestly, if you bitches had to just if you aunties had to just sit there and like actually just said what just happened, like they played it back on the camera to us, like there was no ill intent, there was no foul intent. And for y'all to already know these heifers don't like Aubrey, it's really shady that y'all chose the background PTS girl group moment to have right now. So that was my thing with the whole thing. Misha brought in these arguments about little songs. Honey, your voice been little all season. Until you're able to like really blow me out the water, I wouldn't be putting you on songs either. But that's no shade because I'm not a producer. Okay? I love you. You wasn't really a good queen either. I was about to say I loved you as the queen this week.
Ooh.
But yeah, what you got?
You pretty much said it all right there. And you know, I didn't even really think about it from that point of view. I think I did, like, subconsciously, because it just gave that, you know, y'all all were there. This happened. Like, Aubrey, as you said, shouldn't have had to be like, you know, we were all here. What was said? Like, clearly it wasn't in a shady way. So why are y'all like
Right.
sitting there while this girl's like coming at me like a mad woman?
Right. And then you make Fallon look very aggressive. And then I didn't like that the twin turned around and was like, yeah, I didn't really say that. Or I didn't say that she said all of that. As soon as
Right,
we
like,
walked
oh,
up
I
in the
wasn't
room,
trying
it
to
was
say that
like-
she said all of that.
I hate when people do that. People used to do that in high school all the time. I used to hate that. I'm like, yes, she did.
It gave
Yes, she
realistic,
did.
though. It gave a
It
realistic
did, because
argument.
the way she switched that code, that is some tea that you see with people that know that they didn't try to start some mess and then went and like, ooh, you going to say something?
Too much mess,
Ooh,
too
I'm
fast,
sorry,
too
right?
fast.
Oh my gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was this week's episode of Encore. BET presents The Encore.
Oh, no,
Crazy
EBT?
word. They all on EBT. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Follow us at Freeish Media. And, yeah.
This.
Get you a non-gay producer.
Ooh. Or get you these gays as producers.
Yeah, use us. We don't argue. We just fire bitches. Like, we good at, like, communicating with you know, has-beens. Let me stop. I'm cutting all this out. Do you want to say a real bye? This thought that Ricky leaves with y'all.
This thought that Ricky leaves with you. When your cat purrs, make sure you pet her.